Hey everybody, it's the G-Rock 100, and welcome to the start of our brand new part of the game of Scarlet and Violet. Last time we completed everything that we needed to do for the main game that was going after the last treasure to ruin, have our last heart-to-heart. And we pretty much just covered everything that we want to do. Now, the time has come for us to take part in the DLC. This woman, waiting for us for like 38 episodes, give or take, is probably very thin of the patience at this point, to the point where I think even she would go insane. Let's talk to her. Are you? Oh, you must be. You're one of the students chosen for this school trip, aren't you? And your name was... Gotta be polite. Derek, huh? Well, aren't you a polite one? You're positively dazzling. Oh, and you even have a Terra Orb. I guess Paladin is rich enough in resources for that sort of thing to be a common sight at school. Unless if that's not the case, are you perhaps an especially exceptional... Wait. Not yet. Unless that's not the case, are you perhaps an especially exceptional student? Oh, but here I go on, and I haven't even introduced myself. Call me... It's Briar! I'm so sorry I'm late. That was why. I am so sorry that I gave her the Jacques voice. Oh, hello to you too, Derek. What a lucky scamp you are, getting to take part in a school trip so soon after transferring here. I am sure happy for you. I wish I could go too. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Briar. I got a bit carried away. Well, as Mr. Jack so kindly stated for me, my name is Briar. I'm a teacher over at Blueberry Academy. That's a school in the Univer region, you know? Miss Briar helped set the curriculum there. This year's Blueberry Academy's turn to run our joint school trip and supervise the students. That's why I came here to collect you. I'll be heading to KITAKAMI, a land known for its picturesque fields and rice paddies. The place has a rustic feel, so there's also something rather mysterious about it. You see, the same energy present in Paldea's terrestrial phenomenon has been detected there. I'm hoping to do some digging into the matter myself, in between my supervising duties. Though I also appreciate the chance to take a good look around the great crater at Paldea. Ah, yes. Well, there's not much I can do about that without permission from the Pokemon League and Director Clavel. Oh, I know. I've already put in all the proper applications. I trust that I'll get a favorable response soon. Well... Oh, sorry, Derek. Forgot all about you for a moment there. Anyway, the school trip, think of it as a chance to continue your treasure hunt on a grander scale. To search beyond Paldea's borders. I'll even provide you with a special update to your Pokédex app, if you get out your phone. The KITAKAMI Pokédex has been added to your Pokédex app. And there we go, all done. Now you can go wild registering all the Pokemon you found around KITAKAMI too. Oh, and don't worry about a permission slip from the trip. I already cleared things up with your mom. Excuse me? You just go and have fun. Is that supposed to be something that I have to do? And also, Briar with Jacques? Meh, I ship them. And here you go. Your Mr. Jacques is quite charming, isn't he? Delightful to write to when he wants to be. See? Told you! Ship him! Now then, Derek. It's quite a trip to the land of KITAKAMI. I hope you don't mind flying. Or long bus rides. Let me know as soon as you're ready to set out, won't you? Before we kind of go any further, I would like to show off the KITAKAMI Pokédex. If you notice, Many of the Pokemon that we have seen here in Unova are transferred right here to the KITAKAMI Pokedex. And of course, there are a lot of those and that I've done through surprise trades, but if you do have the DLC downloaded, you can technically get these Pokemon all the way from KITAKAMI as long as the both of you have at least downloaded the DLC. Let's see if I can get out of this first. And the rewards for these are ridiculous. They're more spaced out and they go up to, I think, 90? I think. Never mind. And we got a bottle cap. That was a PPM from before. A Razor Fang. A very nice and held item. You get a Love Ball. And that's it. Next one's gonna be 5-star pieces. Guess how many there are in the KITAKAMI Pokedex? 200. Are you ready to set up for KITAKAMI, Derek? I'm ready. Great. We'll set out together as a group once the other students arrive. I hear you were all chosen for this trip by lottery, so this may be the first time you meet. I know my role is to chaperone you kids around, but I fully intend to have some fun of my own while I'm at it. Just so you're aware. Worst chaperone ever. By the way, do you know the Violet book? I do. As you should. It was the most influential book of the century of the subject of the paranormal. The author of the Violet book, Heath, was in fact an ancestor of mine. I even have his original manuscript. Look here. These are the pages that were blackened out and were ineligible to be in the published version of the book. This right here. A while back, when we were having the heart-to-heart with Arven, this was actually something that was hinted of a potential DLC that was coming up. It is known as the Disc Pokemon. And I was actually trying my best to describe it. A Disc Pokemon. While separated from the research team in the crater's depths, I found a strange entity. Whether it was a Pokemon or even alive at all, I know not. A boar shell with layers of overlapping hexagons. It gleamed brighter still than gemstone. Viewed as a whole, it resembled a mysterious, brilliant disc. I had tentatively named this creature Terapicos. I suspect that its very body is made up of the key material that causes a Pokemon to shine brightly and crystallize. The Pokemon depicted on these pages is called Terapicos. It's a mysterious Pokemon that he allegedly encountered, and he delved even further into the depths of Area Zero. Not that the general public believed him. It's my dream to find Terapicos and prove that his records were all true. Though I haven't yet been able to secure permission to enter Area Zero, unfortunately. But that's fine. It'll all be fine. All we need to do now is focus on the work that's in front of me. Miss Briar, we're ready to go. Looks like the gang's all here. Alright everyone, to the land of KITAKAMI. Never trust a woman who has piercing red eyes like that and then like diamond pupils. And I like how there's a Dragonite flying by the airplane that we're on. Nice touch. Welcome to the hidden treasure of Area Zero, the DLC. And welcome to the first and third of the DLC, the Teal Mask. Or rather, the first story, that is. There's technically 2 stories, and that is not counting the epilogue. But we'll get into that later. We're finally here! My butt is killing me after all those hours setting. First the plane, then that bus. Well, you all survived the long trip. And we haven't lost anyone along the way. All here. Then welcome to the land of KITAKAMI. This is the strange nature for all the new experiences and learning opportunities you'll have out in nature. It's actually my first time here too. Why, the rice fields really are just dazzling. Up ahead, a Mosui town. That would be our base of operations for the duration of the trip. Miss Briar, I don't feel so good. Uh-oh. All that travel must have gotten you a dose of motion sickness, huh? Why don't we pause here for a moment and take in the sight of these fields? Kid? Now, Derek, I have a little request for you. Could you run ahead to the community center in Mosui and let the caretaker know we're here? It would be so great if you could explain that one of our students is feeling unwell. I knew I'd be able to count on you. On your way then, I'll look after your poor travel buddy here. Again, worst chaperone ever. I think this is one of the first things in that you will need. This is how Psyduck must feel. Poor kid! So yeah, check it out! We have some new Pokemon that are now open up to us. Do I plan on covering all of them? Heck no. But you, Yanma, you'll be our first to be caught in these parts. I do want to quickly point out that the Pokemon that you'll be seeing around here, their levels will vary depending on how far you are into the story. That is, the main story. We'll be getting more into that later, but I do want to point out that... Oops. But I do want to quickly point out in that there will be some times in a row when I will be pointing out some of the difference that you will be seeing within this particular game. And as I said, it will all vary depending on how far you are into the game of the main storyline. KITAKAMI! It's not confirmed whether or not if this place is a region of its own or if it's connected to one. I have a bit of a theory on that while we're heading over town. My personal headcanon for this place is that this is a place that I think may be connected to one of two locations. Either Kanto or Unova. We're in a very big farm field, and most of these farm locations may seem very similar to that of what we see in Amish countries. And in case you didn't know, Amish countries have some of the highest population of organic farm in that of the entire country. Well, at least here in the US. In fact, Ohio has the largest Amish population in any other state here in the US. This is actually something I find rather cool. And I have been to certain Amish locations myself, and I can testify that they have indeed has some pretty nice allure to them. Interesting enough as it is, a lot of this location seems very old-fashioned. We have a lot of farm areas. Some of the stuff that's down here seems a little bit ancient, to say the ways. That is because they do things in the old ways. Now, they will have a little bit of some modern technology, like a radio, a television, but they will very heavily limit on that sort of thing. Kind of like what we have seen here. Now, whether or not this is actually based on an Amish location is still unknown, but that's kind of like my own personal headcanon. These guys. Sis, look there! There's one now! Huh? So, you're one of those students who came from the Paldea region, huh? Whoa, wait, cool. Hush, Kieran. I'm Carmine. Sorry, but I can't just let you outsider like you wanted to Matsuri town. If you insist on coming in, you'll have to battle me first. Come on, sis. You just want to battle, making this big fuss over nothing. I told you to hush, Kiki. Just ignore my little brother. Oh, man. Alright, let's do this. Get in the position. I'm gonna have some real good fun with you. Are you hitting on me? I hope you've been paying attention to the eyes because oftentimes you will see them lose their light and they will regain the light. Something that kind of leads up to more about how these characters work. Carmine! Is actually a little bit more underwhelming than you would think. Why? Because she has a lot of non-fully evolved Pokemon. I do want to quickly point out that their levels will also be different depending on how far you are into the game, in the main story. And I'm going through the way of before completing the way home, or after completing the way home. Since I had completed pretty much everything, this is after completing the way home. And so, let's get into it. I do want to quickly point out, I know I've been changing the subject a lot, I gave a few of my Pokemon Terra Blast. Trust me, this is all going to make sense to you guys later on. Drobbins even learned Fly in its stead. And Shift Gear was replaced with Terra Blast on this one, and Seed Bomb was replaced by Terra Blast. Anyway, on to the real battle. Poochyena, level 60, pure Dark type, Runaway for the ability. Crunch, Howl, Takedown, Fire Fang. Like I said, kind of underwhelming. So next up, it's going to be Vulpix, level 60, pure Fire type with Flash Fire for the ability. Flamethrower, Extra Sentry, Will-O-Wisp, Disable. Uh-oh. How dare. Yeah, there was no way you were gonna survive that one. Oh, we got a level up from that. Nice. Alright. Her last Pokemon is a new one. Poltergeist, level 60, Grass Ghost type, Hospitality for his signature ability. Giga Drain, Shadow Ball, Foul Play, Stun Spore. We'll be going over more of this Pokemon a little bit later. Especially since in that, well, we have no ways of dealing with these kind of Pokemon yet. But don't worry. Its time will come soon enough. We have defeated Carmine. You. Who are you? Wowzers! You went and beat my sis! I can't believe it! There's no way you should have been able to beat me! Fine. I guess you pass. Barely. Since I got no choice, I'll let you into town, but only become one of my grunts and do everything little thing I... Oi! What are you doing? Causing a ruckus out here. Here comes trouble. Come on, Kiki, we're out of here. But I... Wait up, sis! I can imagine Cyrus from GX and obeying his voice. I don't know if his voice was confirmed yet. It's been a while since I looked into this, but oh well. Why, hello there, stranger. You must be the one of the students from that Paldean Academy, right? I help run the community center here in Matsuri Town, and a few other things besides. I'll be looking after your group during your visit. hope those two kids weren't giving you any grief just now, were they? Nah, I've dealt with worse. I hardly know what to do with the two of them. Especially that Carmine. Always have been a handful. That one. I apologize if she gave you a hard time. What's that? A member of your group fell ill down by the bus stop. I better get over there and get them in hand so that he can make it into town. I'll take care of everything. You go ahead and get yourself settled and head to the community center. We'll catch up with you soon. So, you wanna know I'm believing that this place could also be part of Unova? Well, look at this. We have a lone Pokemon Center here. She has her phone out, and she does her job. And she just goes right back over to her phone as if nothing happened. Definitely sounds something like the people from America / Unova, am I right? But like I said, we'll be talking a little bit more about that later. This way, everyone! Derek, I owe you one for fetching the caretaker. A little travel buddy's feeling much better now, too. Alright, everyone, this is the community center. This is where you'll be staying while you're in KITAKAMI. The plan was to have you and the students from Blueberry Academy stay here together, but it turns out this space is going to be all for you, or visitors from Blueberry Academy. Oh, right. Those two kids were originally from this town, weren't they? So in you come! Don't be shy! Come on, everyone, pack it in. Oh, no need to worry about your shoes or anything. You can leave them on in here. If they're extra dirty, just try to rinse off the worst of the mud using the washing station by the door. Nice and clean inside, don't you think? It's all newly built, so it's as good as anything you find in one of your big fancy cities. This here's the lounge. You can watch TV, chat, and relax however you like. And well, let's see. Over there's the cafeteria, and the toilets will be down that way. Finally, this game has introduced bathrooms in this series. Am I right? If anyone to get some sleep, please use the room down the hall there. We've got enough space that each of you can have a private room to yourself. So I think that about covers everything. But if you run into any trouble at all, don't you hesitate to talk to our fine staff at the desk. Thank you for the tour, sir. Alright, kids. Do you have anything to say to the staff who will be taking such good care of us? Thank you for having us! Why are you doing the torture dance to the left? What a bunch of well-mannered students! I can already tell you're going to be wonderful visitors. So you just think of this place as your own home away from home and relax. You must all be tired after such a long day. I know it's still early, but why don't we have dinner, then call it a night? We've got plenty of food ready for you all, so I hope you've brought your appetites. Alright! Again, why are you doing the torture dance? You're free to spend the rest of the evening as you like in the community center. But remember that tomorrow, the program will be officially kicking off. Don't stay up too late, or you might oversleep. That's sort of a problem for me as it is. I'm kind of a night owl anyway. Let's talk to you guys. Hey, I checked out my room and there was a bug Pokemon in there. I wonder what's scheduled for tomorrow. I'm so excited I don't think I can sleep. Enjoy the taste of our local KITAKAMI fair? The food here seems really healthy, but it was still really tasty too. These are tablets for anyone to use, but they need to be charged. This person. Welcome to our Paldean student. We provide special service to visitors here at the KITAKAMI Community Center. If you open your bag and whatnot while you've been here, you might have noticed that the theme of the upper and lower borders of your screen in some menus now changes depending on your location. Do you want to change the settings for the upper and lower borders on your menus? Yeah, we'll leave it as it is. Okay, hope you enjoy sightseeing around KITAKAMI with your current settings. So about that, welcome to KITAKAMI. Press the L button or R button while in the map app is open to switch between different maps. Flying taxis will take you to any location with a feather mark, even if the destination is in another region. So we got this big area right here to explore. We will be covering a majority of that, at least for our first visit here. There will be a time when we will be coming here a little bit later on, and also I like how the Pokédex, on a Rolodex in a kind of, okay, but what happens if we keep doing it like this? Does the ice get dizzy? No, it doesn't. Okay. We'll be exploring a majority of this location on our first visit, but we will be covering all the other locations when we can. Morning, everyone. Did you sleep well? Started today, you'll be joined by our 2 students from Blueberry Academy. Go on, kids. Time to introduce yourselves. Hi, I'm Carmine. It's a pleasure to meet all of you outsiders. I mean, visitors from Paldea. I'm Kieran. Carmine and Kieran actually grew up here, so ask them for help if you need anything. And you two had better be of real help, you hear me? Aye, aye. Right. Now that that's settled, why don't I tell you a little bit about what we have planned for you? The school trip of yours will be an exercise in orienting. First, we'll have you split into pairs. Then each pair will be tasked with finding 3 signboards located around the land of KITAKAMI. On each signboard, you'll find snippets of an old folktale passed down here in KITAKAMI. Read them all and learn a bit about our home. To prove you have completed the task, we ask that each pair take a snapshot together in front of the signboards with their phone or camera. Take a photo together in front of each of the signboards to complete your mission. It's a self-guided tour of KITAKAMI. Learn all about its rich history. Much more fun than sitting around and listening to me ramble on and on, eh? Wonderful. What an innovative idea for a group activity. Oh, and I've got a gift for each of you as well. You get the Roto Stick! A stick you to rest a rotophone on. It allows you to take selfies from a little bit farther away and you can put on your own. You've seen these before in the real world. Press the X button in selfie mode to use your Roto Stick. The Roto Stick adds some extra distance between you and the camera, making it easier to take photos with your friends and Pokemon. I hear these things are all in the rage in the big cities. Use them when you take those photos. I'll even teach you a rad pose I came up with all my own. Eureka! Ah yes, real rad. Remember that one of the goals of this trip is to deepen the ties between our 2 schools. It seems we have someone who knows in the area who will be a big help. That being said, let's try to maximize the number of inter-school pairs. Okay, time to mingle. And of course, because all the woes of us, we have to be the first to pick. It's not the Kieran. Oh man. That's all he ever says. You're Derek or whatever, right? Let me guess. You might pair up with one of us poor lonely blueberry students? Might as well. You got a phone and start bombing me already. Gosh, it's so sweet of you to go out of your way like that. What would we ever do without you? Judge us? Say no to us? You're all high and mighty with an ego? Oh yeah, so my little brother here has been all googly-eyed over you since yesterday. He wouldn't stop talking about you, even at home. Seriously, couldn't get him to shut up. Sis, what are you telling him that for, dummy? Yeah, look at the eyes. They lost their light. Hey, who do you call dummy if you know what's good for you? Oh, man. Look at him being all shy. See, my brother's no good at talking to people. He'd probably never work up the nerve to ask you himself, but he'd really like a battle with you. I don't see why not. Well, what do you know? Turns out you're sorta nice. This will make my brother real happy. Chin up, Kiki. Derek says he'll battle you. What? Wowzers, really? You don't mind? He doesn't mind a bit. Get to your possessions, you two. Everybody else, clear out. Make some space. I got this. Get used to seeing these battles with Kieran. Because we're probably going to have, like, I think maybe triple the amount that we'll be dealing with Carmine. Wow, I can't believe this. I get to battle you. This is awesome. Quadruple if you want to be a little bit more technical with me. So anyway, his first Pokemon. Sentret, level 59, pure normal type. Frisk for the ability. Quick attack, takedown, amnesia, dig. I know. Kind of a similar case in what we're seeing with Carmine. Kind of upsetting. Because his Pokemon not fully evolved. His last Pokemon! Yanma, a level 60 bug flying type. Compound Eyes for its ability. Probably arguably just as good as his other ability, Speed Boost. Bug Buzz, Air Cutter, Quick Attack, Giga Drain. Bonk! That wasn't so bad. Wowzers! Good show! Nicely done, kids. Nothing like a friendly battle to get to know someone. Wowzers! You sure are strong, Derek. You really aren't half bad, Kiki. You're nearly as strong as I am, you know. He didn't even do anything! I don't know about that. He agrees. This orienteering thing. We're supposed to group up in pairs, right? You should go ahead and pair up with Kiki then. What? No, sis, don't. Don't what? It's not like we could pair up. Or were you hoping to partner with some other rando outsider instead of Derek? Well, no, but... Oh, man. Don't worry, he's just being shy. I'll go find some chump to pair up with, too. Watch out for my little bro, you. Looks like you're all paired up. Let's go ahead and mark it where you're all be going on these Rotom phones of yours. Now then, all of you go to do some exploring. Oh, and if you find yourself in need of any potions or Pokeballs or the like, head on over that way and stop by Peachy's. That'd be happy to set you to rights. So it looks like we should probably start the signboard at Loyalty Plaza. That's out past the Apple Orchard here on the west side of the village. It's close by, and I figured it might make sense to, you know, visit them all in order. I'll probably just get in your way if I stick too close, so I'll just follow you from a safe distance. So much for that. And right off the bat, this is Clavel. Do I have the pleasure of speaking with Master Derek? My, certainly does his old heart good to be greeted with such a lively response. Now, if I could take but a moment of your time, there is something we must discuss. Master Derek, you're about to be presented with an exceptional opportunity. You already know of the Universe Region's Blueberry Academy, I presume? We briefly heard about that. Indeed, tales of your school trip to KITAKAMI with a Blueberry cohort reached even in my office. In any case, the director of Blueberry Academy happens to be an old friend of mine. And he told me that he would be delighted to host you as an exchange student at his school. I believe it would be a fine chance then for you to learn even more about the world. One should always take advantage of a new challenge like this, don't you think? Though I must confess, I was a bit surprised that Blueberry's director was specified by your name. Still, I think it best then that you meet the man at least once to find out what he might be thinking. He's admittedly a bit of a character, but not to worry. I'll be there when you meet him. Once you feel ready to respond to his offer, I ask you to come by my office so we can discuss the specifics together. Do feel free to prioritize your ongoing school trip though, if you so wish. This student exchange matter can wait a little while. Now I won't take up any more of your time. Do take care until we speak again. We're not going to be worrying about that for a while. So Peaches! The dusty old decoration of some sort, mixing with all daily goods and things. Not quite sure there's anything gonna be eerie about this at first. So let's see what you got. You have a lot of things here. And I mean, you got a lot of things here. So you could buy some clothing here. Every single one of these items are handmade. That's why they're called knitted items. Kind of nice in on itself. So, I think what we should do now is let's begin our little exploration out this way. And welcome to Apple Hills. Now, as I said, there are going to be Pokemon that we have seen before from Paldea, but there's going to be new ones like this one. Am I going to be covering all these Pokemon out here at KITAKAMI? Heck no. Instead, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I will be covering the new Pokemon that the DLC has introduced to us that count as some ones that we've seen from Paldea that have included new Pokemon that they added to the Pokedex. Out in Apple Hill, we have one new Pokemon that I want to talk about. Applin. Yep. Just an apple with a worm in it that apparently has become so powerful that even it became a mind of its own. This is a grass dragon type, a very interesting combination of types. Not the absolute best, mind you, but it's interesting to say the least. On its own, it's weak, it's defensive. It's mainly what I was trying to go for, but if you're looking for a Pokemon that works very differently than the others, you'll actually find some pretty good use out of this. Applin is one of the very, very few Pokemon that has a split evolution, and they will all vary depending on what type of apple that you give it. There is one type of apple that we haven't seen yet, but we will indeed be talking about that when the time comes. But also going to talk about it into this bio. Before we do that though, let me go a little bit more about how Applin works. It's mainly meant to be used as a defensive Pokemon this early on in the game. And if you have decided to do this in the early game, it actually might be proving to be rather beneficial to you. The only real negative that I have with it, well, actually, there's a few negatives I gotta point out, is that this is a Pokemon that works well if you really like the use of berries. Because it and 2 of its other evolutions have a signature ability of Ripen. This essentially doubles into the effect of the Pokemon with the use of the berries. Kinda nice in on itself when you think about it. I do want to quickly point out that berries are very limited in this game. You will be able to have a chance of getting more berries at a later time, but you may want to consider these as a special resort. With the use of the Turd Berry, you will become a Flapple. It remains a Grass Dragon type, but it'll learn her Wing Attack right off the bat, which is okay on itself. I do want to quickly point out that there are hidden abilities that will change depending on what Pokemon that you choose to evolve it to. In this case, it will be Hustle, boosting the attack stat, but lowering its accuracy. Kind of an interesting choice, to say the least. But what's really nice about Flapple is that it becomes more of a decent physical sweeper in on itself. I kind of like the idea that it has to offer us. But I only ever recommend this if you want to have a physical sweeper and not much else on that. With the use of the Sweet Apple, it becomes Apple Tune. This one becomes under more of the complete opposite of that. As Apple Tune becomes under more on the more of the special offensive side, and becomes a little bit more of a tank. Plus, I can really see from most of that of some tanks, they're slow as heck. That's a bit of a problem in on itself, but if you can, however, get around that, it can actually be proven to be very useful. The only real big thing that I would say that I would not recommend this for is that I do like the idea that it's trying to be more of that of a nice, decent wall, and Thick Fat is perfect when going up against its major weakness to ice. Plus, then again, it would take normal damage from that to fire, and thanks to Thick Fat, it'll be as if it's not very effective. Kinda nice as it is. But, like I said, it's slow, but it is a little bit of a challenge to deal with. A new type of apple will be introduced to us called a Syrupy Apple. And with the use of that, it will evolve an apple into a Dipplin, the introduction of a new Pokemon that is introduced here in the DLC. This thing is more on the defensive side and not a bad special offensive Pokemon of all things. Kinda nice as it is. The only real big thing to really watch out for is that, as we've been seeing it throughout pretty much all of these types of Pokemon minus Applin, or excuse me, Frapple, they're all on the slow side and their types will remain consistent as it is. However, that hidden ability of Sticky Hold is actually not bad at from what you would think, preventing items from being stolen. Kinda nice. But what isn't so nice is most of everything else. This particular Pokemon, as well as another Pokemon we'll be talking about in just a moment, gained a signature move known as Syrup Bomb, a 60 power, 85 accuracy, special grass type move that lowers the target speed step by 1 stage each turn 3 times. So essentially, this makes that Pokemon become a whole lot slower, and it could actually prove it to be a little bit of some good use as it is. But what really makes it a Dipplin hit is so interesting. Well, actually, both Dipplin and its evolution, I'll talk about in just a moment. They also gained a signature ability in replacement of Ripen, and that ability is Super Sweet Syrup. Every time when a Pokemon comes into physical contact, or excuse me, Across in the field, it will spread a sweet scent, lowering the evasiveness of opposing Pokemon. This is basically like the anti-sweet scent. Watch more that one I'm thinking of, like the anti-double team and minimize combination that people usually go for. Kinda nice as it is, but unfortunately, you will barely be able to deal with any Pokemon that has that sort of gimmick. So it is going to be a little bit of a challenge in on itself. But what truly makes this thing all the more interesting is that it comes with a new evolution, something that we haven't really seen quite yet. But, oh boy, this thing is good. And that Pokemon is Hydrapple. This thing is insane. This pretty much takes the idea of get up all the Hydras back for a whole new reason. And oh boy, is this a thing of beast as it is. Although this can vary depending on how the thing's gonna get at, depending on how this thing comes out. Hydrapple could potentially have multiple heads, in case if you didn't know. Hydra is basically a dragon-like creature that, if it's beheaded, it'll regain its head, but in the form of multiple heads. Kind of similar to that, I believe, of the Yamato no Orochi, but a little bit more Greek. It maintains it in that ability of sweet syrup. But what's interesting is that it gained a signature move known as Fickle Beam. This is an 80 power, 100 accuracy, special dragon type move. They may start out at 80, but it will have a 30% chance to be doubled to inflict 60 power, with its average power being 104, and this will vary depending on how your Frapple works, or your Hydrapple works. This is a very interesting move, to say the least. Sadly, you won't get it until later on in the DLC, but if you really want to use it on one, it is going to be a bit of a challenge to get. Especially since that it has such great special offensive stats. But unfortunately, this is about where the real positive for that ends. There's no real way of getting around it, and the only way how you'll be able to have Dipplin evolve is with the use of a move that we haven't seen yet called Dragon Cheer. We'll be going over this move later, but it will make sense for you later on once we start getting more into it. All around, the Apple line definitely got a much needed boost in this game, especially for that of the DLC, but it's still held back by quite a bit since, well, a majority of things have not been introduced to us as at this point in the series. Don't worry, there will be a time later on when we'll be able to get to just that. Alright! I want to talk to you real quick. Hey, I'm a traveling app developer. I see you've got a rodent phone. Here, let me add a snazzy new feature to it. The upper and lower frames on compatible apps can be set to match the design of the phone case you have on your rodent phone. Give it a whirl with different rodent phone case and try a new look. Technology really is incredible. So he just gives that to us, and we have no idea who it is. As far as we know, he's gonna hack us later. Welcome to the Loyalty Plaza! And I'm cracking my voice again. We want to come to this. That's the first signboard. Sorry, did I startle you? Oh no. I did mention that I hang back and follow you here. You didn't exactly follow, you kind of went on ahead. We're supposed to read the signboard, right? Oh, I already know the whole story, so go ahead. You should check it out. Long, long ago, there was a fearsome ogre in the land of KITAKAMI. The ogre made its home in the mountain behind the village, frightening all who ventured there. One day the ogre came down from the mountain in a terrible rage, causing great fear in the village. By some stroke of luck, Okie Doggy, Monkey Dory, and Fensapididi all happened to be there as well. The three Pokemon laid down their lives to fend off the ogre and send it back to the mountain. In admiration, the people of the village bestowed upon this brave trio the title, the Loyal Three. The remains were given a proper burial, and statues of their three were erected above the site. The Loyal Three monument is right over there. But don't you think the ogre in that folktale sounds kind of cool? You think? Come on, it was all alone. The battle was 3 against 1, but the ogre still managed to hold its own. That's way cool. Oh, but I guess most people would just think an ogre like that is scary, huh? I don't think there's any reason to be afraid. When I was little, I went up into the mountain so many times at night, all on my own, and I never once met that ogre. Only scary thing that happened was the grown-ups giving me a real earful about it. So yeah, we're supposed to take a photo in front of the signboard, right? I don't have a smartphone. Could you? That turned out great. You're even good at taking photos. You want to try? Oh, no, I didn't mean... Maybe next time. You know, I didn't want to have to come and do this whole school trip thing, but, well, might actually be kind of fun. I get to be out in nature around my hometown and talk to you, Derek. Hey, if you want, maybe we could set up a picnic. Would you like a sandwich? Yeah, no, bad call! Whoops. Yeah? What is that thing? Is it some kind of kaiju or something? A kaiju? This is a Miraidon. I sound more Scottish there. It's called Miraidon? And you ride on it? Huh? I've never seen another Pokemon like this. It says it came out whenever it hears the word sandwich. Never thought I'd actually get to meet such an awesome Pokemon. You don't know the half of it. No wonder you're so strong, Derek. You're special. So, the next... we should go find the next signboard. It's on the grounds of KITAKAMI Hall. KITAKAMI Hall is... Well, first go back to town from here. Then there's this bridge across. And from there, you'll need to climb up the mountainside. I'll hang back for now and meet you there later. I want back, you. You can scare him another time. So now we need to go take a selfie at the next signboard. But I don't think we're going to be doing that quite yet. But now, I want to take a look at this. Loyal 3 Monument. Long ago, these 3 courageous Pokemon protected Mosui Town from destruction. They defeated the ogre that had come to attack the village, at the cost of their own lives. Their remains were laid to rest with the people's respect below in this very statue. So we have a little bit of some lore to this. Actually, I don't think was there anything that's right by this tree? Okay, never mind. I thought there would be something by this tree. A bell sprout. There's a lot of sweet apples up these parts. So, I think that might just be it. And then what we'll do for this episode. We'll definitely have a lot more of this little location for us to explore. But, actually, I want to check something real quick. Okay, never mind. I honestly thought that there was something else would be happening because, well, what's interesting is that back when I did the Everything Wrong With series of the DLC for Sword and Scarlet and Violet, I had some glitchy moments that made it so that we couldn't exactly swim in these portions right here. I wonder if I could do it around here. Nope, doesn't look like I can. We got a little bit of some catching space that we're going to be doing. Well, I guess what I'm going to be doing off screen, but getting the Pokemon out here is very easy. Because not only are we dealing with some Pokemon that we've seen from Paldea, like I said from before, but we now have a chance to potentially make a KITAKAMI team of our very own, if you are oh so inclined. But I don't think we're going to be worrying about that, though. Why? Because I'm bringing my bazookas with me. So, now that that's all done, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to end things off right around here. We arrived at KITAKAMI. We arrived at our first signpost. We learned a little bit of their lore around here. And we're going to be learning a little bit more of some things as we go along. So next time, we're going to head off for our next signpost and maybe see if we can find out a little bit more about this place behind closed doors. See you guys then!